The much anticipated storm is here and it will be moving throughout the weekend. We're going to be seeing some heavy snow out there, heavy rain, and severe weather. We'll be breaking down the details of what you can expect with this storm, as well as the Arctic outbreak in full force as we go into next week, and potentially a snowstorm across the southern U.S. as we go into early next week. Thank you guys so much for joining. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all of your weather coverage. If you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns across North America, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and also to help me get to 75,000 subscribers by the end of this month by simply subscribing and pressing the like button down below. It helps out more than you know. Looking at what the radar shows this morning with our current weather conditions, we have heavy snow breaking out across portions of the Midwest into the western Great Lakes. It's going to be snowing in Milwaukee, Chicago, Rockford, Illinois, and then back there toward portions of Iowa City, Des Moines, Iowa as we go through the morning hours. We have heavier rains further south, Paducah, Kentucky, Evansville, Indiana, back down here toward Memphis, some heavier rains, and then further south from there, we have some severe weather to talk about across portions of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and much of the southeast as we go through today. So let's look at the severe weather threat here first, because this is the most pressing issue. We do have a large slight risk in the yellow shaded color. That's a level 2 out of 5 on the scale. And then a smaller orange shaded color. That's an enhanced risk on the scale there, and you can see that covers northern Mississippi and northwestern Alabama, but really anywhere in the dark green, yellow, or orange, you do have some chance of severe weather as we go through today. And you notice there could be some significant damaging winds, especially in this red hatched area. That means hurricane force winds of 75 miles per hour or greater will be possible today across northern Mississippi and northwestern Alabama, mainly this morning as those storms do move through. Then we also have the tornado potential across a lot of the southeast here through Dixie Alley, including Mississippi, Alabama, parts of Tennessee, getting down here in towards Georgia, and then on up into the Carolinas as we go through the day today. So let's look at the timing for these storms. We have a broken line of strong to severe thunderstorms across portions of Mississippi and Alabama this morning. Ahead of the main line, there could also be some strong to severe weather with those semi-discrete supercells posing the risk for potentially a slightly higher chance of tornadoes as they're kind of all alone by themselves. And then as we go into the afternoon, we have that cold front moving into eastern Tennessee through the Cumberland Plateau there, moving through the Atlanta, Georgia region by the afternoon. We're watching out for some severe weather there. And then into the Carolinas, southern Georgia, and northern Florida, we're watching out for those prefrontal storms that could also pose the risk for damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. And then finally, by tonight, the cold front will clear the east coast and we'll say goodbye to the severe weather and hello to the cold, as it will be moving in across the country behind this storm system. And we'll get to that here in just a minute. But look at the heavy rainfall here across the eastern U.S. Beneficial rains, but a lot of this will be dropping here in just the next 24 to 48 hours. And you can see the heaviest of the rains are near that track of the low pressure system up here into the mid-Mississippi Valley and the western Ohio Valley. Places like Indiana, western Ohio, down through western Kentucky and Tennessee, and then getting down there in towards the foothills there of Missouri and northeastern Arkansas. We could be seeing widespread 1 to 3 inches worth of rain, and then on up into coastal New England from Boston through Hartford, getting into New York City, Trenton, New Jersey, Philadelphia. We could be seeing a widespread 1 to 3 inches there with some flooding, and that's where we have that slight risk for flash flooding today into your Saturday time frame across the Boston region, Hartford there into Connecticut, Rhode Island, getting into New York City, including Long Island, and then as we go in towards northeastern Pennsylvania and northern New Jersey, we do have that slight risk for flash flooding out there. So make sure you do know that there could be some flooding. And looking at the northern extent of the system, a very significant winter storm, the likes of which the Midwest hasn't seen in quite a few years. We're going to have very heavy snow, 1 to 2 inches per hour here at times across Iowa, Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and parts of northern Indiana, and eventually getting into Michigan here today. Looking at this here further into the Midwest, a little critical point here to note that there could be a little bit more of the rain or rain-snow mix moving further north here into the I-80 corridor, I-88 corridor into Illinois. So that means Chicagoland area there in Cook County, up there toward portions of the Davenport Quad Cities, and even northern Indiana could be affected by that, which could cut down totals a little bit this afternoon. But nonetheless, the back end of the storm is going to be moving through very heavy snows through the nighttime hours tonight. Very strong winds. Look at the tight isobars on the backside of this 970 millibar low pressure. Very strong low pressure for this time of year. And then as we go into Saturday, we're still going to be seeing those lake-induced snows across portions of the Great Lakes there. That will be enhancing some of our snowfall totals. And then the main snow shield will move into Quebec there and into portions of eastern Canada as we go into Saturday. So we're looking at a couple of systems. We have the main system here in the Midwest and another very powerful amount of snow across the west as well. Let's look at that here. You can see feet of snow will be impactful across portions of Oregon, getting down into the northern Sierras there, mountains into California. And some of that snowfall will be translating into southern Idaho. Salt Lake City area could be seeing a couple feet of snow, especially in those higher elevations through Sunday. Like I mentioned, the Sierra Nevada mountains here definitely going to be seeing some very heavy snow, potentially piling up over a foot in some areas. And then our main storm system across the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes will be seeing a widespread swath of 8 to 12 inches of snow here from Iowa, southeastern Minnesota through portions of Wisconsin, northern Illinois, getting into far northern Indiana there, and then most of Michigan, including the UP of Michigan. There is a question mark. There's a sharp gradient on the southern side of this system. So Detroit, Fort Wayne, getting over and towards the Champaign-Urbana region, Peoria, Illinois, and then getting over toward Kirksville, Missouri, could be in question with how much snowfall we do see because of the warmer air starting to move northward with the system. But nonetheless, this is going to be a windbag as we go through your Friday and Saturday time frame. So this morning, breezy conditions for the Midwest, but as that system strengthens and pulls closer toward the Great Lakes, we're going to see those northwesterly winds begin to scream in and bring in the colder air, which will change the rain over to snow across the Illinois Valley there. And then as we go into tonight, winds will really be cranking out of the west-northwest, 20 to 30 miles per hour. Gusts could be up to 50 miles per hour at times through eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, portions of the Illinois Valley, getting in towards Indiana, Ohio there into northern Kentucky. So blizzard conditions, whiteout conditions are possible with these winds. And even after the snow has ended, we could still be seeing those near whiteout conditions, those ground blizzard conditions across the Great Lakes here as we go through the day on Saturday. So overall, a high impact system here. A moderate to major travel disruptions can be expected, especially there for Michigan, getting through most of southern and central Wisconsin, eastern Iowa, parts of southeastern Minnesota, and northern Illinois as we go through Sunday. Very high travel impacts, if not extreme travel impacts out here to the west across portions of Oregon, getting into southern Idaho, into northern Utah, and the Sierras out here in California. Watch out for travel as we go through the weekend. Then here comes the big dump of Arctic air, and we've been talking about this, well advertised for the last several days. Late this weekend, look at the source here, all the way up into the Arctics, into eastern Alaska and the northern Canadian provinces. That cold air will be rushing down to the south here and opening up the floodgates, if you will, on the weekend. And you can see next week, the cold air, once it dives down to the south, it will remain intact all the way through the Gulf Coast, getting into the southeast and the mid-Atlantic through most of next week. So what do these temperatures look like? Here are your high temperatures on Sunday, the 14th of January. Yeah, below zero highs up here across the north central states and southern Canada. And the freezing line goes all the way down towards the Houston Metroplex, getting down towards San Antonio, Jackson, Mississippi, Mississippi there toward Chattanooga, and then over there in toward the Roanoke, Virginia area there on Sunday. Looking at wind chills, yeah, you add just a 10, 20 mile per hour wind here, we could be talking about bitterly cold to dangerously cold wind chills. I am likely to see a lot of these wind chill warnings up here across the upper Midwest as we go through the next few days because of this dangerously cold air. Look at these wind chills, 30 to 40 below zero across most of the Dakotas, eastern Nebraska, getting through Minnesota, Iowa there into the Illinois Valley and into northern Indiana. And then look at that, the negatives going all the way south toward the Oklahoma City area, Amarillo, Tulsa, getting down towards Paducah, Kentucky as we go through Sunday. Monday, Martin Luther King Day, not going to be much better with the cold air out there. We're still going to be seeing below zero high temperatures for the upper Midwest, the northern plains, and the northern Rockies, and southern Canada, and the freezing line is going to hang out across the deep south there on that day. And here we go again on Martin Luther King Day, another 20, 30, 40 below zero wind chills again for the north central states and southern Canada. So make sure if you are heading outdoors this weekend, especially on Sunday and then going in towards early next week, that you do bundle up in all layers because it is going to be dangerously cold at times. And with the cold air moving in, there's no surprise that any precipitation we see as we go into Sunday will be snow. So you can see that across the Rockies there. No surprise, we've been hit hard this year so far with snow across the Rockies. That will be moving its way in towards the plain states as we go into Sunday night. And then Monday, look at this, folks, on Martin Luther King Day, we could be seeing snow showers as far south as North Texas toward the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Texarkana, Shreveport, maybe seeing a rain-snow mix there, Little Rock, Memphis, Nashville, possibly even into portions of northern Mississippi and northern Alabama on that day. And then we start to see more of those totals potentially adding up with that snow, with the cold air. So Sunday into Monday on Martin Luther King Day, a few days from now, we could be seeing a nice swath here from North Texas and southeast Oklahoma through Arkansas, getting into northern Louisiana, Mississippi there into Alabama, possibly getting close to the Atlanta area there in northern Georgia, and then through portions of Tennessee. We could be talking about an inch or two of snow. So the Dallas-Fort Worth area looks like a coating is likely with this system. Up here toward Texarkana, maybe an inch, 2 inches here into Little Rock, maybe 2 inches into portions of the Shreveport region, Jackson, Mississippi, an inch or two for you potentially. Moving off to the east here, Sunday into Monday, Nashville could be getting in on a half an inch of snow, Chattanooga and half an inch of snow, and potentially even the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa region getting a half inch to an inch of snow as we go into that Sunday, Monday time frame. We will be fine-tuning that as we get closer. Then as we go into Tuesday the 16th, we have that snow system moving up into the New England region and closer to the coast than most of the systems have been this year. There still will be rain though, so we'll have to keep an eye on southern New Jersey, Delaware, getting down to Maryland there in the eastern Virginia area and the eastern Carolinas for that cold air. How far south does it go? And looking here at 3 different computer models, and there's a lot of disagreements here with how much snow and how strong this system could be on Tuesday for the Northeast and New England. This is the ECMWF model for snowfall. This is the European model. Not really that excited for snow across the Northeast or New England. Maybe a half inch or inch there. That's about it. The GFS, the American model, showing that a little further south, it's a little colder of a solution, so it brings more decent snows to Virginia, West Virginia, into the western Carolinas, and yes, maybe another inch there for the Atlanta region on this model. And then looking at the GDPS model, the Canadian model here, more bullish with a stronger system and colder air, so we have several inches of snow from Maine through much of New England and the Northeast and down the Appalachians. So there's a lot of disagreement with these 3 models. We'll be hashing out those disagreements over the next few days, but regardless, cold air will have staying power through the 3rd week in January, going through Sunday, January 21st. We could be seeing well below normal temperatures along and east of the Rockies, and then a January thaw, if you will start to move in across the west, especially into the Sacramento Valley there into California as we go through that 3rd week there into January. So lots of active weather still ahead. Make sure you are safe with the severe weather, the blizzard conditions across the Midwest, and the cold air. Just be smart about this as we go through the weekend, and we will get through it together. Make sure, though, if you do like detailed weather breakdowns, across North America to subscribe to my channel down below so I can keep you updated on the latest moving forward across the United States and Southern Canada. And make sure to press the like button down below. It helps out more than you know. Share this video with friends, family, and on social media. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend out there.